Hi guys, today we're going to start with finance. It's actually very easy. It's stuff that you've seen before. We're just going to incorporate a formula that's going to make life easier for you, but you'll see everything that we do be will be old school stuff. So there you can look at all the different symbols that we're using. It's very important that you know what each symbol stands for. So if we read through it, it's very important here that you see A is the end amount. So whatever we do at the very end, we want to know the value of A. Now I remember it like this: A is the first letter of the alphabet, but it's quite the opposite. So you should look at the last, the end. So this is the only one that is a bit deurmekaar. You can also use the word accumulated because the A for accumulated, but you must just remember it's always the end value. Then P, the best way to remember P is that it's the present amount. That is where we start off with. So that's the original beginning amount. So we can also write here begin, because it's the first one is the end amount and this one is the amount that we begin with. Good. N should be very easy. N, number of years. Now, we say years or periods, but for grade 10 work, it will basically be years. And then I is the interest. Now, there's the formula for interest. You know, interest is the interest rate over 100, but we're not using that fraction part. It's always difficult to work with fractions, so it's very important that you remember that whenever we replace I with a number, that we rather use a decimal number. It makes life easier on your calculator and just normally, because we all seem to struggle with fractions. Good. And then it's the two formulae that you need to know. Now, the first one is very straightforward. You can actually, without even knowing the formula, this is the one that I prefer. Can you see there's no fraction in it? The only reason the other one has got a fraction because R over 100 is just the same as I. So let's write it here. R over 100 is exactly the same as I, and we prefer to write I in the decimal format. So then there's no fraction involved. And what we do, we take the amount that we start with, we multiply it with the interest rate, and we multiply it with the number of years that we are working with. So it's straightforward. Even if you don't know that formula, this is what you did last year. You could just do a straightforward. We start with the basic value, the P, the present value, the original value. We multiply it with the interest rate, I, in decimal format, and then we multiply with N, which is the number of years. Now, that is the straightforward if we want to find the simple interest. You'll see the SI there. That is the interest itself. And what is interest? That is the extra amount of money that you have to pay. If you borrow money from a bank, you're going to not only pay back the money you borrowed, you're also going to pay back interest. And this is very simple. That's why we call it simple interest. And then we're going to use it in this formula at the bottom. Now, if you look at the formula, you'll see it's all the letters that we discussed on the previous slide. The A is always the end amount because the sum is about what is going to happen in the future. So the future end amount. P is the present. Easy to remember now. We start off now. And then the I for the interest rate and the N for the number of years. Okay, but as always, it's always easier to rather just do the problem and make sure that we know what is going on. Let's read. Thabo Invest. Now, as I read, I'm going to underline stuff and I'm going to write the symbol there, because before you ever start with a finance problem, it's good to write down. Let's just quickly go back to this page to write down the A, P, N, and I. Now, as you can see, there's 4 variables. Automatically, 3 will be known and you will have to work out the 4th one. So it's really very simple and easy. Once you've got the formula, remember these formulae are in Matric, they are the formula on the formula sheet, but you will know it very well by the time we get there because you're going to use it millions of times. So there's always 4 variables, 3 will be known, and the 4th one will be the one that you are that you need to work out. So as we read through the problem, we underline and we write down which symbol are they talking about. So Thabo invests 20,000 Rand. So he starts off with 20,000 Rand. Presently, it's present, the original amount that we start off with. To contribute towards the university fees for his son in 5 years' time. So the little n, it's already in years. Remember what I said, for your purposes, n will always be in years for grade 10. So that is the n. The simple interest. Now probably it's not that important yet because we only started. So we're only doing simple interest, which is very simple and easy. But later on, we're going to do, there's 2 types of interest. compound and simple. So then we need to concentrate and see what type of interest they are talking about. And that is the 9%. So that is the I. Now you can see the 9% is in a percentage format. So that means 9 over 100, which we do not like at all. So when we write it down, we're going to write 0.09. We'll get to that just now, per annum. How much will the investment be worth in 5 years' time in the future? So what will the end amount be? So we're going to make a question mark and say the end amount. Now let's just check. Did they give you 3 pieces of information? Yes, the P and the N and the I. What is the fourth one we need to work out? The A. So let's just get some space. Here I've summarized it. Now, very importantly is to look there, because I know what happens. Mostly people say 9%. Let's just write it there. It was 9%. And then they say, okay, it's 0.9, 0.9. But remember, percent is over 100. So let's write it there. 9 over 100. And because it's over 100, you need to move your comma 2 spaces if you write it in decimal format. So that is why there's always 2 spaces behind the comma. So it's hundredths. You all know where the hundredths are. Okay, now we've got all our information and we've got one formula. That's why I say it's as simple and as easy as that. So we write down the formula. A is equal to P, 1 plus I, N. Good. All on one line is very simple and straightforward. Remember, when you do a substitution sum, we rather prefer to put all the values in empty brackets. So because I want the A, I'm just going to leave the A there. The P was 20,000. 1 plus the I was 0.09. And the N was 5. And all you do now, you grab your calculator. Now, luckily, you can do all of this at once on your calculator. Please don't work out a piece of the sum, write down the answer, and then work out the next piece, because then you're going to tend to round off. We may never ever round off inside a problem. We only round off the final answer. So rather not do that. Your calculator is clever enough. You just press in 20,000. Now, I'm not putting a bracket around the 20,000 on my calculator. It's also not very necessary here where I put it, because it's only all on its own. There's nothing with it. So you could just have written the 20,000. Just because we've got it in our system, let's just do the 5 in a little bracket. Because we've got it in our system to write all the substituted stuff in brackets, it's good to keep to that. Okay, it's 20,000. Then you make the bracket sign just as you see in front of you. You click 1 plus. You see another bracket. But because it's being multiplied, remember, when 2 brackets stand next to one another, it means multiply. So instead of pressing 4 brackets now for the 0.09 and the 5, 4 little brackets, you can just say 0.09 times 5. And then you close your bracket. Very important that you close the bracket in the end. So when you're done, your calculator needs to look just like the formula you see in front of you. And then you just press the equal sign. And it gives you a nice answer, 29,000. Now remember, I always say you have to check your answer. Just basically, you don't have to redo the sum. You just check if it's possible to get an answer like that. Now, if you start off with 20,000 and you're going to gain interest, because remember, this is now an investment. It's not that you borrow from the bank. You put the money in the bank and you want more money back at the end because you want to pay for the varsity fees. So you need more money. You started with 20,000. Is 29,000 more? Yes, and it seems a reasonable amount more. So it seems like it's fine. You can just leave it like that. Good. That's how easy simple interest is. Let's look at the next one. Anne wants to go travel in 5 years' time. There's my N, 5 years. She needs at least 30,000 for her plans to travel. When does she need that? Now or in 5 years' time when she travels? In 5 years' time when she travels. So do you agree with me? This is the end amount that she wants in the end. That's why this is my A. How much must she invest? How much must she invest? So what are they asking? Now, presently. What is the present amount? So they are asking the P, the present amount. So you can see, as I read, I just summarize, because when I'm done, I'm supposed to have 4 things written down. So let's just check. How much must she invest now at 7% simple interest? Again, it's in the percentage format, which I do not like, but we'll change it just now. But let's check. I've got 1, 2, 3 pieces of given information. There's my fourth one, and that is the one that they're asking. So it's a straightforward, simple, that's why they call it simple, formula. You fill in what you have, and you work out the one that you do not have. And because it's so simple, we can ask you now to find the P, or the I, or the N, or the A, because there's 4 letters involved. So let's just get space and do it. The wrong side. Okay, there's everything summarized. Make sure that you check this. It's not 0.7. I'm going to say it a few times because I know it's a common mistake. It's 0.07. And I wrote the SI for simple interest because a little bit later we're going to do compound interest, and then we need to know which one is it we're working with. So I'm going to have to write down my normal formula. A is equal to P 1 plus IN. And now I'm going to start substituting. I have my A, 30,000. And because the A is all alone on its own, I do not need a bracket. We always used brackets because there was stuff in front or at the back of the bracket, so we needed to multiply. But because it's all alone, I don't need. There, it's 1 plus. My interest is 0.07. And now I'm just going to put the N in a bracket. Again, the reason for that, the bracket for the 5 already tells me I must multiply with the 0.07. You can put the 0.07 also in a bracket. But you see, as we go along, we choose the easier, quickest way. And now I need to get the P all alone. And this you learned in grade 8 already. And you practiced it a lot. How to make something else the subject of the formula. So I'm going to rearrange this formula. If you want this P all alone, there's a bracket that's being multiplied with the P. We need to do inverse working. So I need to, if it's multiply, I need to do the reverse, which is divide. So if I divide the right-hand side with a whole big fat bracket, I need to immediately, not in the next step, immediately divide the left-hand side as well. Remember the big bracket around. And there's your little line. So now you've got your P all alone, and all you need to do, you grab your calculator. Now again, I want to show you, there's different ways of doing it. You can say 30,000 divided by, and then slot in the bracket. Or you can just press the fraction button. It's right on the left-hand side, the second one from the top. It's a little block over a little block. If you press that, and you just go to it's already on the top, 30,000. Then you take the cursor here, and you go down so that you're now at the bottom of the fraction. And then you put in the bracket. 1 plus 0.07 times 5, because remember, bracket means times. Remember to close the bracket in the end, and then you just press the equal sign. Now it gives you a funny fraction answer, but remember, you've got an SD button. And if you press that SD button, it gives you the decimal. And now I can just write it neater. And because it's rands we're working with it's 22222 rand and 22 cents. Now it actually carries on 2222222, but you know that rand and cent consist of 2 decimals behind the comma. So you need to always, that's just a common thing. When we work with finance, there will always be 2 figures behind the comma. Even if it was only comma 2, you will put comma 20 because it represents cents, and it needs to be 2 figures. So let's just see if it's possible. If I want in the end to have 30,000, and I now invest 22,222 and the 22 cents, it will get more in the end, and that is what I want. So it seems that my answer is correct. Good. Just make very sure that you round off to 2 decimals. Last example. How long will it take? So I'm going to stop just there. How long will it take? So now they want the N. How long will it take for 15,000 rand to double? Now let's stop. 15,000 rand to double in the future. So for now, this is my P. It's what I start with, 15,000. It must double in the future. They did not write that down, but what is double of 15,000? So I'm just going to immediately write down the end amount needs to be 30,000 because it must double. If it is invested at 13%, there's my 13%. That's my I. That was that one. So let's just check. There's 3 pieces of given information, the P and the A and the I. What is unknown? The N. What do? The same as always. We go to a page where we have got space and we write down the formula. Now, by now, you should know this formula because it's now the third time I'm writing it down. It's on each page. We're going to do still lots of it. So this formula you must have in your mind. You must not think about it. You must be able to write it down immediately. Let's fill in what we have. We have the A, 30,000. We have the P, 15,000. 1 plus, we have the I. Oh, where does that 0.13 come from? Remember, it was 13%. So I need to make 2 decimals, so it's 0.13. Just always remember, you must move your comma 2 digits to the left from where it was given as a percentage, and then you will have the correct decimal. And for how many years? I do not know. So I just make an N there. Now the N I don't put in a bracket because it's still a letter. It means times with the 0.13. Now I need to get that N all alone. And remember what you do to find something all alone? You take away from the furthest point. So the 15,000 is furthest. So if I take it to the left-hand side, I'm just going to write 2. Because 30,000 divided by 15. Why do I divide? What does this bracket mean? Multiply. I need to do the reverse of that, so I divide. So 30,000 divided by 15,000 is just 2. So what is left here on this side? 1 plus 0.13n. Why do I not put the big bracket around anymore now? Because there's nothing outside of it anymore. I need this n all alone, so I need to get rid of the 1. So I take 1 to the other side, minusing it. Why do I minus it? I do opposite working. So it's just 1 left. How do I get rid of that little 0.13? It's been times with the n, so I need to divide, but then I must also divide this side by 0.13. And I grab my calculator, and I can either do the fraction. This one is easy enough to just say 1 divided by 0.13 equals. I need to press the SD button because it gave me a fraction again. So I can just write down n is equal to 7,7. Now, why do I now only round off to 1 decimal? The rands, I always have to round off to 2 decimals. The n is a whole number because it's the number of years. So I'm just going to use that 1 decimal to tell me, is it now 7 years or 8 years? And guess what is it? I'm sure you know. If I round it up, therefore, n is 8. So you'll just write it in a neat sentence. It will take her 8 years if she wants to double her money from 15,000 to 30,000. Good. And that is how simple interest is. 1 formula, 3 knowns, and 1 unknown. You fill in the 3 that you have. Just make very sure that you do your algebra correct. And if you've done it, make sure that you get a practical answer. If this n was 80, then really you must know that you made a mistake. And we can very easily make mistakes. Then you must know it doesn't make common sense because I just need to double 15,000 to 30,000. So you can go and look for your mistake if you do something like that. And then, as always, we give you a few exercises to practice and to make sure there's 2 pages of exercises. So you're going to stop at each one, pause it, and do it on a clean sheet of paper and see if you get to the yellow answers. And that was the lesson. And finance is actually as easy as this lesson. We start off with this simple interest formula. All of the rest that we're going to do is just as simple. So we're going to have fun. See you next time.